just to backtrack, I think that oftentimes our childhoods, no matter, what sort of environment, no matter how abusive, whatever, right? We often see that as normality. And when somebody presents us a different picture of what real normality is, and to be honest, no family is normal. So,
Right. That's so
yeah,
true.
everybody's weird. No family's normal. And embracing that is honestly the first step towards any sort of sanity. So
Yeah.
that's good. But I just think that really kind of just like realizing that the red flags were always in my face, and just finally acknowledging them versus ignoring them, because I was so focused on swimming that I pretty much just put off every other area of growth pertaining to um, not emotional maturity, but really acknowledging the pain that I had held in for so long. And it just started finally coming out. But it came to a point, and I'm gonna get pretty real with you. In 2016, had a lot of accidents. The year came out straight out of HE double hockey sticks. I don't know how to describe it, right? I had 3 life-altering accidents, in which I came pretty close to possibly losing my life. And so 2 weeks after trials, I fell off a cliff and fractured my vertebrae. And when I came to, after falling off that cliff, I woke up and there was a really jagged rock about 2 inches away from my head.
Wow.
And I came to, and my sister was screaming my name. And I remember, like, the first thing I saw was the corner of my eye. I'm like, this like jagged rock. So I just missed it by 2 inches. And literally the next week, I got to Berkeley, and that was during my transfer. And I bought a bike, a used bike, and I was going down a famous hill or famous street called Channing Way. And there's a circle called Channing Circle, and it's a traffic circle. And I was going through that traffic circle, and I actually got hit by a car. And wasn't wearing a helmet at the time. And I flew over the top of the car, going about 20 miles per hour. And I just remember, having this voice in my head saying to just relax, ragdoll. And I did that. And thankfully, I just landed on my wrist and broke my wrist, when easily I could have landed on my head. And so first week transfer, I've got a broken vertebrae that I knew nothing about until January, and a broken wrist that I had gotten a cast for. And the next 3 months passed by. I decided I want to buy a motorcycle, and within that month, I got in another accident. And so things just like were crazy. Things just kept getting piled on. And so we came to a point of just kind of burying all this stuff, not acknowledging it, just pushing through, being a good soldier, right? Just doing the job. And, okay, one more thing, I can handle that. One more thing, I can handle that. And I don't think I never asked for help, because I always felt the responsibility to carry the needs of others around me, never to put anything on them. And so in 2017, around April, I got to a point of pretty severe depression. And I remember late in April, I basically made a decision that I was going to commit suicide within 24 hours. And this is where my story gets pretty interesting. I quite literally just prayed a prayer, and basically just asked the Lord and asked God if he was real. And at this point, I hadn't heard from anybody in my contacts for probably about a month. I'd really spiraled out and really just detached myself from people. And just remember like being very alone at that point. And within the next 24 hours, I had people reaching out to me from nowhere. And literally, I remember probably 8 to 10 different text messages, multiple calls, multiple voicemails, all literally saying the one word or one phrase, "I'm praying for you." And that's the point where I was just like, okay, like, God, you're real. And I guess my life matters enough that you would do this. And so I just remember like being extremely moved, still am. And I think that's kind of where I started a new journey of really just acknowledging like, okay, really the turmoil that I had built up for so long inside. And it took time. It wasn't an all at once thing. I'd love to say that it was. It's like, boom, I'm done, right? I think that we always look for that. But that moment really, it was the starting point of what led me to today, and as kind of a launch pad for the rest of my growth. So